Good day everyone. Today we'll be discussing Chapter 11P, Technological, Pedagogical, and Content Knowledge.
Teacher education is a complicated practice that requires an interweaving of many kinds of specialized knowledge. It requires application of complex knowledge of teachers across different cases and contexts. Sinasabi dito na ang teacher education ay pagsasanay at paghahanda sa mga guro. Ito ay hindi madali kasi kailangan ng mga guro na matuto sa iba't ibang aspect of knowledge. Kasi hindi lang naman isang subject, kundi sa iba't ibang way pa ng pagtuturo ang kailangan nilang isipin. Kailangan din nilang maintindihan ang iba't ibang klase ng estudyante, yung mga behavior nila, ganun, or situation, at kailangan din nilang intindihan kung paano sila makapag-adjust sa pangangailangan ng bawat klase na hawak niya. Kaya ang pagiging guro ay hindi lamang basta nagtuturo ng lesson, kundi ang maging handa sa lahat ng situation na posibleng harapin sa loob ng classroom. Teacher education is the truism that without improving the quality of teachers' education, the quality of schools' education cannot be improved. Mahalaga na knowledgeable ang teacher kasi hindi mapapabuti ang quality of education sa mga paaralan kung wala silang alam or kakayahan sa pagtuturo. Kung mas mahusay ang paghahanda at pagsasanay ng mga guro, mas magiging effective sila sa pagtuturo at mas magiging maganda ang pagkatuto ng mga estudyante. Next naman ay according sa National Council of Teacher Education, in 1998, ang teacher education daw ay isang programa ng edukasyon kung saan sinasanay ang mga inspiring teachers na ihanda ang sarili nila upang magturo ng mas effective at makapagbigay ng quality of education sa iba't ibang antas ng pag-aaral.
Ngayon naman, ipapaliwanag ko ang tungkol sa teacher education at kung paano ito connected sa TPAC o Technological, Pedagogical, and Content Knowledge. Una, pag-usapan natin ang teacher education. Ito ay ang proseso o process ng pagsasanay para sa mga teacher. Sa pamamagitan nito, natututo ang mga teacher ng mga professional na kakayahan o competencies na kailangan nila upang mas maging mas mahusay. Hindi lamang po ito tungkol sa kaalaman, kundi pati sa kung paano ito ituturo ng effective. Kaya mahalaga ang teacher education dahil ito ang nagbibigay sa mga guro ng mga kasanayang kailangan para mapabuti ang kanilang pagtuturo o upang masiguradong may kalidad ang pagkatuto ng mga estudyante. Next naman is ang kalidad ng teacher education ay mahalaga para sa buong sistema ng edukasyon. Kapag maganda ang programa ng pag-train ng mga teacher, sure rin na mapapabuti ang kalidad ng edukasyon sa bansa. Isa itong dahilan ng successful na system ng edukasyon kasi ang mga teacher ay may malaking part sa pagbuo ng kaalaman at kakayahan ng mga estudyante. Pangatlo, ang teacher education ay nagbibigay daan sa mga teacher upang magtagumpay sa kanilang profesyon. Sa pamagitan ng pagtitraining, hindi lang natututo ang mga teacher ng mga basic na kaalaman, kundi handa rin silang harapin ang mga challenge at sa mas malawak na system ng edukasyon. Kaya po, ang teacher education ay napakahalagang bahagi ng ating education system. Kung ang mga teacher natin ay magaling na mag-training at handa, magiging maganda ang pagkatuto ng mga student at sa huli makikinabang po dito ang buong bansa. Pagkaroon ng kulang sa experience ay nagiging dahilan ng hindi maayos na paggamit ng technology sa pagtuturo, which is nakaka-affect sa epektibong edukasyon sa modernong panahon.
Ano nga nga ba mai-incorporate ang multimodalities and differentiated educational technologies to facilitate and or enhance student learning? Meron dito yung emergence of digital natives and digital immigrants. Digital immigrants are mostly born before technological innovations. Inadapt lang ang paggamit sa technology. So basically, sila yung traditional ang taksanayan. Meron din nakalagay dito, inadapt lang nila ang web technologies. So most likely, they prefer to talk in person, are logical learners, focusing on one task at a time, prefer to have interaction with one or few people rather than many, get info from traditional news sites. Samantalang sa digital natives naman is they are born during or after the digital age. So most likely na lumaki at natuto na silang gumamit ng mga gadgets noong bata pa sila. Kaya meron din tayong term na naririnig minsan na iPad kids. Meron din dito, always on or attached to a phone or other device. Intuitive learners, multitask and rapidly task switch, extremely social and multimedia oriented. With that in mind, teachers need to understand the changing lives of children with respect to technology, including how children interact with technologies in ways that are qualitatively different than teachers' technological encounters and histories. Minsan din kasi merong difference of technological skills or intuition between teachers and students. Kaya minsan meron tayong makikitang teachers na nagpapatulong din sa mga estudyante nila in regards to presentations, yung mga equipment na ginagamit sa mga programs or kinakailangan na gamitan ng gadgets. Kaya ngayon, classroom instruction is now characterized by an acceleration of instructional technologies designed to increase efficiency, expand productivity, and ultimately enhance students' total learning experience. Kaya dito pumapasok yung increasing efficiency na tinatawag nila kasi dahil may cooperation sa bawat isa sa classroom. Yung parang kanina nabanggit yung nagpapatulong yung teachers sa mga students nila in regards to technological equipments. Meron din naman hindi alam yung mga students nila na sila rin yung nagtututo. So basically, parang nagpapasahan sila ng information, thus nag-i-increase yung efficiency sa classroom. At ngayon, na-enhance palalo yung total learning experiences ng mga students.
So, merong 3 digital divides. So, alamin muna natin kung ano nga ba yung digital divides. So, digital divides is the gap between people who have easy access to computers and the internet and those who don't. It's like a difference in opportunity based sa merong mga access sa technology at sa mga walang access. This can be a problem dahil ang mga taong walang access might miss out sa pagkakataon to learn new things, makakuha ng mas magandang trabaho at makakonect sa ibang tao. So, yun yung meaning ng digital divides. So, merong 3 digital divides. The first one is first divide. So, first divide, equal access to technology infrastructure. So, importante na magkaroon ng equal access sa technologies para sa lahat dahil kailangan ito upang masigurado na ang lahat ay may opportunity na matuto at mag-grow. Second divide, access to achievement-enhancing technology-mediated instruction in school and technology-mediated activities outside of school. So, technology can help students learn in different ways. Ang ibig sabihin nito ay ang mga paggamit ng digital tools and resources both in the classroom at sa outside of school ay para mas ma-help silang mas maunawaan ng mga bagay. And then the last digital divide is third divide.
Access to culturally sensitive TMI teachers knowledge about multicultural education and able to incorporate this knowledge into their pedagogical practice of teaching with technology. So, sabi dito, we need teachers na mas maintindihan ang different cultures and can use technology upang matulungan ang lahat ng mga students na matuto. Ang ibig sabihin nito, dapat nilang magamit ang technology in a way that respects everyone's background and nakakatulong din ito para sa kanila in a manner that is meaningful to them.
What is technology in learning? It refers to the use of digital tools and resources to enhance the teaching and learning process. So mayroon ditong mind map about the benefits of technology in education. First, technology can help students develop scientific investigations and reasoning skills. Tinutukoy dito na technology is nagpo-provide sa mga students ng tools or resources para makagather at makadevelop ng scientific reasoning skills. Second, technology can help teaching and learning process, activity-oriented, student-centered, and inquiry-based. Third, technology can help teachers understand scientific concepts and creativity. So this explains that technology can offer teachers access to a wide range of educational resources, including videos, simulations, and interactive activities. So these resources can help teachers deepen their understanding of scientific concepts and develop creative teaching methods. And lastly, technology can help improve teachers' attitudes, self-confidence, and instructional applications. By using technology effectively, teachers can gain confidence in their abilities and become more innovative in their instruction. And it can also provide teachers with tools and resources to create engaging and effective lessons. So that explains that the technology can enhance teaching and learning, benefiting both students and teachers.
Technology and its complex role in teaching. Challenges na kinakarap ng mga teachers when integrating technology into their teaching. Ang sinasabi dito ay may mga situation sa paaralan na hindi sumusuporta sa pagsisikap ng mga guro na gamitin ang technology. Madalas hindi sapat ang natatanggap nilang pagsasanay para dito. Dahil iba-iba ang mga paraan ng pagtuturo at pagkatuto, walang isang paraan na gagana para sa lahat.
Paliwanag ko naman ang mga konseptong functionally opaque, unstable, at teachers have inadequate experiences mula sa diagram tungkol sa digital technologies. Una, ang functionally opaque. Kapag sinabing functionally opaque, ibig sabihin nito ay mahirap intindihin o hindi ganap na nakikita kung paano gumagana ang isang technology o digital tool. Sa context na ito, ang mga digital technologies ay minsan mahirap intindihin kung paano sila gumagana sa loob na kahit ginagamit natin sila. Pangalawa, ang unstable. Ito naman ang tumutukoy sa hindi pagkakaroon ng sure na pagiging maaasahan ng teknolohiya o technology. Ibig sabihin, ang mga digital technologies ay maaaring magkaroon ng mga glitches o biglang pagkasira na nagiging hadlang sa tuloy-tuloy na paggamit ng mga ito sa pagtuturo or sa klase. Halimbawa, ang internet o software na ginagamit sa klase ay pwedeng bigla na lang mag-crash or mag-malfunction na nagiging result na pagka-istorbo ng klase. Pangatlo, ang teachers have inadequate experiences. Maraming mga teachers ang pwedeng kulang sa karanasan o sapat na pagsasanaysay sa paggamit ng digital technologies. Dahil dito, nahihirapan silang gamitin ang mga bagong technology sa kanilang mga klase. Ang pagkakaroon ng kulang sa experience ay nagiging dahilan ng hindi maayos na paggamit ng technology sa pagtuturo, which is nagiging pagkakaapekto sa effective na edukasyon sa ngayong modern na panahon.
Another is, digital technologies are often considered as somebody else's problem. Kasi minsan, di ba, kunya-kunyari, meron tayong mga online meeting, ganun. Kaso, nagkaroon ng problems sa signal. Kaya ngayon, hindi na masyadong natututo yung mga estudyante dahil nga hindi na nila napakinggan yung lesson dahil nawalan sila ng signal. Kasi nga online class sila. Kaya ngayon, parang ang isisisihin nila is either yung teacher na nagpa-online or yung signal na, dahil sa walang signal, hindi ko tuloy na napakinggan yung lesson ni ma'am. Parang ganun. Kaya siya often considered as somebody else's problem. Kasi parang ang inisip mo, hindi mo na kontrolado yun. Kaya hindi ko na problema yan. Pero sometimes, digital technologies are protean in nature, meaning flexible at adaptable siya, as well as varied and diverse siya in classroom context.
Teaching with technology as wicked problem. Technology integration is often considered as a kind of problem solving, the goal of which is to find the appropriate technological solutions to pedagogical problems. Sabi dito, ang pagsasama ng mga technology ay patungkol sa paggamit ng mga digital na kagamitan upang maayos ang mga natatangi na pagsubok sa pagtuturo. For example, kung ang mga students ay nahirapan silang intindihin ng isang aralin, ang teacher ay maaaring gumamit ng mga laro o kaya interaktibong programs upang gawing mas masaya at upang mas mapadali nilang maunawa ng kanilang pinag-aaralan. One fruitful way of thinking about the complex problem of teaching with technology is to view it as a wicked problem. Wicked problems have incomplete, contradictory, and challenging requirements. Sabi rito is, mahirap ito dahil may mga iba't ibang needs ang mga students at palaging nag-update ang technology. For example, kung ang isang teacher ay gustong gumamit ng isang bagong online learning platform, maaring kailangan niya munang harapin ng mga students na hindi pamilyar dito o kaya walang tamang gagamitan na nagpapahirap sa lahat ng magamit ito ng maayos. Next, wicked problems cannot be solved in a traditional linear fashion because the problem definition itself evolves as new solutions are considered and are implemented. Hindi ito isang simpleng solution lang dahil palagi naman nagbabago ang mga bagay, di ba? Halimbawa, kung isang paaralan ay gumagamit ng bagong learning app, maaaring makatagpo ang mga tao ng mga problem sa kung paano ito gumagana o kaya kung lahat ba ay makakagamit nito. Wicked problems always occur in social context, and teaching can be considered as a wicked problems with full of complexity. Mahirap ito dahil bawat students ay meron namang iba't iba at may mga kanya-kanya silang dahilan sa kanilang mga ikinikilos. Maaring subukan ng mga teachers ang iba't ibang paraan upang matulungan ang mga students na maging mas maayos ang kanilang pag-uugali. Ngunit, ang gumagana para sa isang students ay maaaring hindi gumana para sa iba kasi nga hindi naman tayo pare-parehas.
Teaching with technology as a wicked problem. Teaching with technology as a wicked problem. Here we have 3 main points to discuss, and first is the wicked problems of technology integration required to develop new ways of confronting this complexity.
Para makita natin ang complexity na ito, kailangan natin mag-develop ng new ways of thinking and approaching the problem. Hindi lang ito about using technology for the sake of using it. It's about understanding how to use it in a way that enhances learning. We need to be flexible, adaptable, and willing to learn from our mistakes. For example, let's say you want to use a new educational app in your classroom, but you're not sure how to integrate it in your lesson plan. You need to take the time to learn about the app, figure out how it aligns with your teaching goals, and experiment with different ways of using it. Second, at the heart good technology, 3 core components are there: content, pedagogy, and technology. So firstly, content. Ito ang gusto nating matutunan ng mga estudyante. It's the subject matter, the knowledge, and the skills we want them to acquire. Pedagogy, ito ang paraan ng pagtuturo ng content. It's the method, strategies, and approaches we use to help our students learn. Technology, ito ang tool na ginagamit natin para suportahan ang learning process. It's the hardware, software, and digital resources that help us teach and learn more effectively. Example, let's say you're teaching a lesson on fractions to your 4th grade students. The content is the concepts of fractions. The pedagogy is the way you teach it, using visuals aids or real-life examples. And the technology is the online tool you use to create interactive fraction problems. Third, the TPACK framework or TPACK is consistent with Schulman's idea of PCK. TPACK stands for Technology, Pedagogy, and Content Knowledge. It's a framework that helps us understand how to integrate technology into our teaching in a way that's effective and meaningful. PCK, on the other hand, stands for Pedagogy, Content Knowledge. It's a framework developed by Lee Schulman that focuses on the intersection of pedagogy and content knowledge. Both frameworks recognize that teaching is a complex process that requires a deep understanding of content, pedagogy, and technology.
So, in this model or diagram, mayroong 3 main components of teacher's knowledge, which is the content, pedagogy, and technology. So, equally important to the model are yung interactions between and among these bodies of knowledge, represented the technological pedagogical content knowledge or the TPACK, the pedagogical content knowledge or the PCK, the technological content knowledge or the TCK, and lastly, the technological pedagogical knowledge or the TPK. So, this diagram illustrates how the TPACK is more than just knowing technology or understanding the subject. It's about combining these elements in a way para ma-enhance ang teaching and learning. For example, yung teacher is gagamit ng digital tool to present a complex concept. Pero dapat muna nilang intindihin ng mabuti both technology and yung content na represent nila para ma-ensure na yung tool na yun is magamit effectively, maintindihan ng mga students yung material.
Sunod naman ay ang concept ng pedagogical knowledge o PK na inyong makikita. Una, ano nga ba ang PK o pedagogical knowledge? Ito po ay tumutukoy sa malalim na kaalaman ng mga teacher tungkol sa mga process at ways ng pagtuturo at pagkatuto. Sa madaling salita, ito ay ang kakayahan ng teachers na maunawaan ang iba-ibang strategy sa pagtuturo, kung paano natututo ang mga estudyante, at kung paano nila mas effective na maitatawid ang kaalaman. Pangalawa, ano ang sakop ng pedagogical knowledge? Ang PK ay maraming aspect ng pagtuturo, gaya ng pag-unawa kung paano natututo ang mga estudyante. Mahalaga ito upang maitugma ng mga teacher ang kanilang mga strategy sa iba't ibang klase ng students. General classroom management, lesson planning, at student assessment. Ibig sabihin, kailangan marunong ang mga teacher na magplano ng mga lessons at mapangasiwaan ang isang klase ng maayos. Mga techniques o methods na ginagamit sa pagtuturo. Ang isang teacher ay dapat may sapat na kaalaman sa mga mabisang pamamaraan o strategies para makuha ang atensyon ng kanilang target audience o which is students. Evaluating student understanding, dapat din alam ng guro kung paano susuriin ang pagkatuto ng mga estudyante para malaman nila kung effective ang kanilang paraan ng pagtuturo. Pangatlo, bakit mahalaga ang pedagogical knowledge? Kung ang isang teacher ay may malalim na pedagogical knowledge, mas makakagawa siya ng mas effective na mga paraan ng pagtuturo. Alam niya kung paano makakatulong sa iba't ibang estudyante na may iba't ibang antas ng pagkatuto at interes. Sa kabuuan, ang pedagogical knowledge ay isang pundasyon ng matagumpay na pagtuturo. Kung ang isang guro ay may sapat na malalim na kaalaman sa mga prosesong ito, mas magiging matagumpay sila sa kanilang profesyon at mas effective sa pagbuo ng kaalaman ng kanilang mga estudyante o students.
Next one is Pedagogical Content Knowledge, or PCK. PCK is consistent with and similar to Schulman's idea of knowledge of pedagogy that is applicable to the teaching of specific content. Ayon kasi kay Schulman, an understanding of what makes the learning of specific topics easy or difficult is the conceptions and preconceptions that students of different ages and backgrounds bring with them to the learning of those most frequently taught topics and lessons, and that knowledge of the strategies most likely to be fruitful in reorganizing the understanding of learners. PCK covers the core business of teaching, curriculum, assessment, and reporting, such as the conditions that promote learning and the links among curriculum, assessment, and pedagogy. Basically, pedagogical content knowledge is the relationship between one's understanding of content in a specific field and the selection of teaching approaches and strategy. Importante ang pedagogical content knowledge kasi dito natin malalaman kung ano ba yung pinaka-appropriate na strategy na magagamit natin para masuportahan yung learners sa pag-i-improve nila ng kanilang skills and mastery sa selected nilang field na yon na tinuturuan sila. An awareness of common misconceptions and ways of the importance of forging connections among different content-based ideas, students' prior knowledge, alternative teaching strategies, and the flexibility that comes from exploring alternative ways of looking at the same idea or problem are all essential for effective teaching. In simpler terms, teachers must know how to identify and explore certain strategies, knowledges, ideas para mapabuti pa ang pagtuturo sa kanilang mga estudyante.
Technology knowledge. Alamin natin kung ano nga ba ang technology knowledge. Ang technology knowledge ay ang kasanayan sa paggamit ng iba't ibang technology. Kasama rito ang pag-unawa sa mga gadgets, software at sa mga system na ginagamit sa trabaho o pang-araw-araw na buhay. Halimbawa, ito ay maaaring tungkol sa pagprograma, paggamit ng computer o pag-unawa sa internet at social media. Ang pagkakaroon ng ganitong kaalaman ay mahalaga dahil nakakatulong ito sa pagpapadali ng mga proseso at pagpapabuti ng komunikasyon. Technology knowledge is always in a state of flux, more so than the other two core knowledge domains in the TPACK framework. Mas mahirap itong sabayan kumpara sa mga ibang bagay tulad ng mga asignaturang itinuturo o kaya kung paano ito itinuturo, na hindi nagbabago ng kasing bilis. For example, kung gumagamit ang isang guro ng isang apps sa pag-aaral at nakita niyang mas magiging masaya at mas epektibo ang pagtutulungan ng mga students kung gagamit sila ng ibang app, pwede niyang ilipat ang klase sa bagong app. Knowledge about certain ways of thinking about and working with technology. Tools and resources and working with technology can apply to all technology tools and resources. Para mas maunawaan ng mga students ang mga aaralin nila, kailangan muna nila matuto sa paggamit ng mga iba't ibang technology. Kasi ang kasanayang ito kasi ay gumagana sa maraming iba't ibang platforms and tools. Kaya madali na para sa mga teachers na baguhin ang kanilang mga pamamaraan sa pagtuturo. This includes understanding IT broadly enough to apply it productively at work and in everyday life. Being able to recognize when IT can assist or impede the achievement of a goal and being able to continually adapt to changes in information technology for information processing. Kailangan nating malaman kung paano ito gamitin para makamit natin ng bagay. Ngunit, kailangan rin nating malaman kung kailan ito nakakatulong at kung kailan din ito nakakasagabal. So, importante yun na malaman natin.
Sabi naman dito na the technology, pedagogical, and content knowledge is an emergent form of knowledge that goes beyond all three core components, which is the content, pedagogy, and technology. So, it is an understanding that emerges from interactions among content, pedagogy, and technology knowledge. So, you have to take note that these three core components is really important kasi it provides effective teaching with technology, and it is also helps students to learn better, and using it strategically will enhance the learning process of the students. Kapag naman in-ignore yung three components na to, mag-lead siya sa problems or it will make things too simple.
Here we have TPAC, Developmental Model by Nice and colleagues, Curriculum and Assessment. So, you know how we always talk about what we want our student to learn. That's the curriculum. And then we need to figure out how to measure if they're actually learning it. And that's the assessment. They are connected and important for teaching. Teachers need to plan what they want students to learn and then create assessment to see if they're getting it. Access is all about making sure students that they have what they need to learn. It's like if you want to teach someone how to play a guitar, you need to make sure they have a guitar. In the TPAC developmental model, access is a big deal. Sure they have the tools and resources they need to learn. Also, we have advancing, exploring, adapting, accepting, and recognizing. And those will be tackled by the next reporter.
Dumako naman tayo sa maliit na box, yung may recognizing, accepting, adapting, ganun. Una ay yung recognizing stage. Nakilala at sinimulan na gumamit ng mga guro ng mga simple technology sa pagtuturo tulad na lang ng computer at projector. Nakikita kasi nila na maaaring makatulong ang technology na ito sa pagkatuto ng mga estudyante sa iba't ibang subjects. Halimbawa na lang yung paggamit ng PowerPoint presentations sa klase para mapakita yung dinidiscuss nila. Pangalawa naman yung accepting stage. Dito na tinanggap ng mga guro na mahalaga ito sa kanilang pagtuturo. Naghahanap na sila ng mga seminar or training para mas mapabuti ang paggamit nila sa technology. Tulad na lang ng pagsama sa isang workshop tungkol sa paggamit ng interactive whiteboard sa klase, kung meron mang ganun. Pangatlo ay ang sa adapting stage. Dito naman nag-explore na sila ng different ways para mas ma-enhance yung knowledge ng tinuturuan ng mga bawat guro. Gumagamit na sila ng online quiz tulad ng Google Forms or Google Surveys, ganun, para mas interactive yung pagkuquiz ng mga students. Pang-apat ay ang exploring stage. Dito naman sila motivated na maghanap ng mga Mas maraming way para baguhin yung traditional method of learning pero gamit na yung technology. Example na lang yung Quizlet, ganun. Or yung math type ba yun? Para ma-practice yung knowledge mo sa math. Yung ma-practice yung student, ay ma-practice yung knowledge ng student sa math, ganun. At last but not the least, ang advancing stage. Dito naman naintindihan ng mga guro ang kahalagaan ng pag-innovate ng curriculum upang mas maisama ang technology sa lahat ng subjects. Halimbawa na lang, nagsisimula na ang paaralan na baguhin ang lecture sa science, math at iba pang subjects para mas maging digital ang approach tulad ng paggamit ng virtual labs.
Sunod naman ay ang implications of the TPACK framework. Ang TPACK framework ay tumutulong sa mga teachers na gamitin ang technology ng mas effective sa pagtuturo. Hindi lang ito basta paggamit ng technology, kundi kung paano rin ito masasama sa mga lessons para mapadali ang pag-intindi o pag-aaral ng mga estudyante. Sunod, nagbibigay ito ng mas maraming pagkakataon para sa professional development ng mga teacher. Sa pamamagitan ng TPACK, nagagawa nilang mag-research at dumalo sa mga training para mas mahasa ang paggamit ng technology sa kanilang klase. Pangatlo, binibigyan ng TPACK ang mga guro ng bagong pananaw kung paano pag-aralan ang technology. Hindi lang ito basta tool, kundi parte na mismo ng sistema ng pagtuturo at pagkatuto. Panghuli, ipinapakita ng TPACK na ang technology ay hindi lang dagdag sa pagtuturo, kundi isang mahalagang elemento. Dapat ito maging bahagi ng ways ng pagtuturo para mas mapahusay ang experience ng mga students. Sa overall, binibigyan ng TPACK ang mga guro ng gabay para magamit ang technology sa isang makabuluhan at epektibong paraan sa loob ng klase.
Ngayong na-discuss na natin kung ano bang nilalaman ng TPACK or TPACK at PCK, ano naman ang hints for ensuring TPACK rather than PCK? First is create learning and sharing culture where there are opportunities for the staff to develop their technological skill. Pwedeng example dito is yung isang teacher, meron siyang kaalaman kung paano mag-program ng isang EPUB file. Pwede niyo yung i-share yung kung paano yun gawin sa iba niyang mga kasama. Second is run workshops organized at school but run by colleagues or students who are already at mastery or better level to further support their development. Another is give students the opportunity to show their skills through digital leader opportunities. Another is don't let the technology dictate learning and combine pedagogy with content knowledge. Opportunities must also be provided for staff to meet to discuss the developments they have encountered using technology. And lastly, build a set of core apps which all staff can use at mastery level so that consistency, confidence, and competency can flourish.
Use of TPACK in course designing. TPACK framework can be used by teachers as a means for designing ICT integrated curriculum, technology-driven teaching learning activities, and web-based assessment tools. So TPACK is like a guide that helps teachers use technology in the classroom. Pinagsasama nito ang tatlong bagay. First, ang kaalaman sa subject. Second, ang kakayang magturo. And the last one is ang kaalaman sa paggamit ng technology. For example, a science teacher planning a lesson tungkol sa mga ecosystem ay maaaring gumamit ng TPACK to create ng isang interaktibong project kung saan ang mga students ay gumagamit ng mga digital na simulation to explore ang mga food web. Sa ganitong paraan, makakapag-aral ang mga students sa pamamagitan ng paggawa, masusubok ang kanilang pagkaunawa sa mga online quizzes, at magagamit ng guro ang technology ng mas effective. Teachers can incorporate online course projects and assignments in online tests as part of the course. Mas masaya at mas madaling matuto ang mga students kapag gumagamit ang mga teachers ng online tools. For example, maaari silang magbigay sa mga students ng mga group projects kung saan they create digital presentation gamit ang mga online tools at pagkatapos nun ay itetest ang kanilang pag-intindi sa pamamagitan ng mga online quizzes. Sa ganong paraan, maaaring magtulungan ng mga students mula sa kahit saan at ipakita ang kanilang natutunan sa makabagong paraan. TPAC is helpful for them to explore different tools and design lessons that demonstrate ways that they can use technology in conjunction with content and pedagogy to support students' learning. Sabi dito, parang isang gabay ito na tumutulong sa kanila na mahanap ang tamang mga kagamitan at pagsamahin ng technology with their subject matter at mga pamamaraan na pagtuturo.
Application of TPAC analysis in classroom teaching. Use of TPAC in planning lessons. First, we have decide on learning outcomes. You need to figure out what you want your student to learn. What are the goals of the lesson? What skills or knowledge do you want them to gain? Secondly, choose learning experiences and pedagogical strategies. Now that you know what you want your student to learn, you need to decide how you're going to teach it. What activities, discussions, or projects will help them learn best? What teaching strategies will you use to engage them? 3. Identify specific activities. You need to break down the lesson into specific activities that will help your student learn. What will they do during the lessons? What tasks will they complete? Choose technology tools. Finally, you need to decide which technology tools will help you teach the lesson. Will you use a presentation software, a learning management system, or a educational app? Which tools will help you engage your student and help them learn? By creating TPAC, you can create a lesson plan that's effective, engaging, and tailored to your students' needs.
Teaching with technology is a difficult thing to do well. So, the technology, pedagogical, and content knowledge framework suggests these components involved in successful teaching with technology. First is the content, which is the subject matter. Second, the pedagogy or the teaching methods and strategies. Third, the technology or the tools and resources used. And the teaching learning context or the environment where the teaching and learning take place. Example, if sa classroom or online. And also, these components have rules to play individually and together. It also states here that teaching successfully with technology requires continually creating, maintaining, and establishing a dynamic equilibrium among all components.